They say what gets measured gets done, right? Which isn't always true, but certainly what isn't measured doesn't get done. We have to measure and demonstrate that we're actually delivering capability. And so far, that's the unmeasured thing. Everybody's measuring the results of the immediate type, and nobody's measuring whether or not you've built any capability that lasts.
How do you actually measure outcomes? How do you look back after 2 or 3 years and see if people are genuinely doing things differently? If people are more empowered than they were before? 2 years ago, we weren't asking those questions because we were just trying to work out, how do we empower people, or how do we try to? Now we say, well, we think we've done this, but we don't have any data on that.
At UNICEF, we are betting on data science as a tool to do development differently. Mostly because data science is a tool that embraces disorder, embraces uncertainty, and most of all, it embraces complexity. There are many examples of existing data collaboratives that already are in place, where you have different stakeholders participating not only in the creation of meeting, citizens engagement and that kind of stuff, but also you have like private sector, you have people from academia, all coming together in this data collaborative to really try to tackle these complex problems. And that is very important because I think nowadays you don't have an institution or an organization or one government alone that holds all the answers for all these complex problems. So you really need more hands on deck.
One of the things that Oxfam's been doing is trying to get better at doing real-time evaluation, actually measuring what's happening as you go along rather than waiting until the end of the project. And if necessary, then saying, oh, that's not quite what we intended or not quite what we were expecting, let's change course.
Typically, the way that development has been communicated is based on this very linear understanding of you spend some money and then you see results, and it's relatively easy, relatively straightforward. Things can and do go wrong, but the aim of communicating is to tell people that progress happens and it's possible, and to give numbers or figures, whether it's $2 will save a child's life or that 6 million girls have gone to school. The problem with that is that it creates a very unrealistic understanding of how difficult, messy and complex development is. And so then the public, who essentially holds governments and NGOs to account, the support can ebb away very quickly when they see that actually there's still a lot of problems that remain and that change doesn't happen that quickly.
We've done some work in the past at ODI looking at public opinion in the UK and looking in a bit more detail about what drives that, which actually indicates that the UK public would be sort of open to that kind of a conversation. They're open to hearing, a recognition that aid doesn't always work, but that we have ideas about how to make it work better. And I think that's very much where doing development differently should position itself.
So I think the challenge for us is to convey a more realistic understanding of development, that it is messy, it is difficult, it takes time, and there will be failure as well as success. And if we can communicate that in a way to the public and to politicians, then maybe build up a tolerance of taking risks. If we want to do development somewhere where there's no risk, then we'd do it in Sweden, and that's not really the point.